technically fractions, right? Technically fractions. Can be written with colons and the words to and the words out of, but most of the time they are in fraction form. Now unit rates. Well, let's define each piece. Unit. One. Unit means one. Pretty hard. Rate. Rate. Rate means, well, how much? Or how far? Or how fast? Or how blah, 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 blah. Rate. Rate means, well, how much are we doing? How far are we going? How fast are we going? How whatever. That's what rate is. So if we put them together, and call it unit rate, then we mean, I can't spell, how much for one? How much for one is what unit rate means. Or how far for one. Or how fast for one. How much for one piece. If we look at our examples right in the middle of our notes and just see, we have 6 eggs for 3 people. Well, I don't want to know how much for 3 people. I want to know how much for one person. It always made me mad going to Walmart or going to the grocery store and they have a sign up there that says 3 cans of green beans for $1.50. Well, I don't want 3 cans of green beans. I only need 1. So I got to be able to find out how much 1 can is. And that's what unit rate is. Maybe we don't want all 3 cans, even though they're selling them 3 for $1.50. I only want 1 can. And there's a mathematical way to figure out how much for that 1 can. Because when they put that sign up there, Ron, when they put that sign up there, they're not telling you you have to buy 3. It's an option. Alrighty? They're telling you they're 3 for $1.50. Which it could be easier if they just say 1 can for ever how much, right? But no, they think they're doing us a favor by saying, well, 3 of them are for $1.50. Well, I don't want 3, I want 1. So, the mathematics that we do when we try to find unit rate. Is this right here. We will be doing division to find unit rate. And unit rate, we need to know, is a type of ratio. How many of y'all remember that fractions are a type of division problem? Right? You divide the bottom into the top. So technically, ratios yesterday are also a division problem, but we just never do the division. We left them in fraction form. So when we go unit rate, we're technically going one step further with our ratios. We're going to actually do the division. But I want you to just learn that, hey, it's going to be division when we find unit rate. We don't have to set up a fraction. Let's just go straight to dividing. Okay? Now, in the 6th grade, learning unit rates, I can give you 2 hints that help you. These hints are just really for the 6th grade. As you get older in your mathematical careers and in your mathematical knowledge, these hints are correct part of the time. And part of the time, you just have to know how to do division to find unit rates, because they switch the numbers around on you, okay? But for us right now, just learning unit rate, these hints work all the time, okay? Just remember, they won't work all the time as you get older in your math careers, all righty? You've got to know what you're talking about when we're trying to find out. I want to know how many eggs for one person, no matter what the numbers say. All right? So, first hint today for 6th grade. If it is, what's that? Money. If it's talking about money, div, what's div?
Divide.
Divide the money by the other number. If it's dealing with money, just divide the money by the other number. Now, like I said, this will change later on as you get older in math. But for this year, it helps us. Boom. The other one, if it is just numbers, div the big number by the little number. That's our second hint, and that one is the one that will change later on in your mathematical careers. But for this year and learning rates, it works, okay? It is a division, it is a type of ratio. Now, Riley Irwin, that's all our writing. Now we got examples to do. And y'all going to see how simple this work is. So we come over here. Raina, I have 6 eggs for 3 people. Now yesterday, we had ratio words, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
One of our ratio words or groups of words was for every, right? And there's our word for. So the word for can make it also. But like I said earlier, we got a couple of hints here. We don't have to really set it up as a ratio. We could, 6 over 3. But just remember, what's the bigger number since it's not dealing with money? 6 divided by the other number, 3. And we get 2. Now, 2 is not the answer by itself. By itself. 2 is not the answer by itself. We have to write to what?
Eggs.
2 eggs. The word P-E-R. What's that? Per person. The per person means 2 eggs for 1. Unit rate, right? Unit meaning 1. So we have to write something on the end of it. 2 eggs per person. We could say 2 eggs per 1 person. Or 2 eggs for 1 person. But the word per is what's used. And we're not talking about P-U-R like a kitty cat. There's our English language again, right? Per, P-E-R, and per, P-U-R-R-R-R-R. Okay. $12 for 4 pounds of potatoes. $12 for 4 pounds of potatoes. I don't need 4 pounds of potatoes. I need 1 pound. So what's our hint? Take the money and divide it by the other number. And what do we have?
3.
3 what now? $3 per pound. $3 per pound. LBS. If look up where they found LBS, and I never do know. Every year I say I'll look it up, and I never do. How they get LBS to be pounds abbreviation, I don't know either. But we'll look that up later. I read 40 pages in 8 days. I don't want to know how many. I want to know how many I did in 1 day. What? 40 divided by 8. 5. Now 5 what? 5 days?
Pages.
No, 5 pages
Per day.
per day. I'm going to do this last one in just a minute, but I want to just throw one at you that I don't have anywhere up here. Miles per hour, miles per gallon, and all that stuff is rates. We see a lot of questions about traveling. For instance, I go 400 miles in 4 days. How far do I travel in 1 day?
Oh, so we did rates
400.
in third grade.
400 divided by 4 gives a 100. Now 100 what? Miles
per day.
Per day. You were doing rates. You were doing unit rates back in elementary. They may not have called it that. Right? So really you've already done it. It rained 10 inches in 2 days. 10 inches in 2 days. This is hard stuff.
I know.
10.
5 inches per day.
5 inches
Per day.
per day. Now those are the shortened versions. Then they throw it to us. Then they throw it to us.
Tax problem.
Tax problem. Notice we had instructions. Write each rate as a unit rate. On the tax test, they're not going to tell you this is a rate problem. You have to figure it out on your own. You can't see or you want to read it? Read it. First one right here.
It took the work crew 30 hours to unload 6 railroad cars. How long did it take them to unload a car? Until unload 1 car.
What tells you this is a rate problem?
It has like 30 out long.
Well, I see a ratio word.
And then it says how long?
How long? 1 car. If we want to know how much for 1, that jumps us right to unit rate. 1 rate. We want 1 rate. And so we take the big number, divide it by the
6
small number,
5
5.
hours
per car.
5 hours
Per car.
per railroad car.
Car?
Railroad. If I put just plain car, y'all think of VW Bug or something. Or Ferrari. Now we're talking about railroad cars here. Alright, Tuck, last one.
Costs $120 for a group of 5 people to go to a concert. What is the ticket price per person?
Okay. What tells you this is a unit rate problem?
Per person.
Per person.
Well, I see the word per. Per person, meaning 1 person. So that tells me it's unit rate. Take the money and do what? Divide it by
Other number.
5. The other number, I don't know. Let's do it real quick. 5.
2.
2. 10. 2. 0.
Coach Jordan.